Glowing Star Neverland. Michael Jackson's Magical Kingdom. Introduction. There are places in the world where imagination takes flight, where the impossible feels possible, and where the childlike wonder that lives within us all is allowed to flourish. For millions of people, that place was Neverland Ranch, the magical kingdom created by Michael Jackson. More than just a home, Neverland was a vision, a dream brought to life by one of the greatest entertainers who ever lived. It was where Michael sought refuge, where he shared joy with children, and where he tried to build a living fairy tale in a world that often felt harsh. This is the story of Neverland. Not just the mansion or the rides or the zoo, but the beating heart of a kingdom that symbolized Michael Jackson's belief in magic, innocence, and the boundless power of imagination. Chapter 1. The Dream Begins. Michael was no ordinary boy. From his earliest years in Gary, Indiana, he dreamed of more than music, more than applause, he dreamed of freedom. When fame arrived, it was dazzling but heavy. His life became crowded with cameras, contracts, and constant movement. Yet inside, Michael still longed for the purity of childhood. "I never had a childhood," he once said softly in an interview. "So I created one." That creation would become Neverland Ranch. In the mid-1980s, Michael discovered a sprawling property in Los Olivos, California. Rolling green hills stretched as far as the eye could see. Oaks stood like ancient guardians. There was peace, quiet, and space to dream. He knew immediately, this would be his kingdom. Michael named it Neverland, after the mythical island from Peter Pan, the place where children never grew up. Chapter 2. Building a Fairy Tale. Michael poured his soul into building Neverland. He didn't see it as a mere mansion, but as a world of enchantment. At the gates, golden cherubs and ornate designs greeted guests, whispering that they were entering a special place. Inside, music floated through the air, flowers bloomed in perfectly sculpted gardens, and fountains sparkled under the California sun. But the true magic lay deeper. Michael filled Neverland with rides. A Ferris wheel, a carousel painted with colors that glowed at night, a roller coaster that soared above the treetops. He built a cinema with velvet seats where he would invite children to watch films. And then came the Neverland Zoo. Giraffes walked gracefully in the fields. Elephants, tigers, even Michael's beloved chimpanzee Bubbles, all found a home in this kingdom of wonder. To Michael, every ride, every animal, every hidden detail had meaning. They were not just attractions, they were symbols of joy, freedom, and love. Chapter 3. A Kingdom for Children. For Michael, Neverland was not complete without laughter. He opened his gates to children from around the world, especially those who were sick, poor, or in need of healing. Buses would arrive, filled with young voices. Michael greeted them with open arms, often walking them hand in hand to the rides. He became a host, a guide, a friend. There were stories of children with life-threatening illnesses who forgot their pain for a day, riding roller coasters, feeding giraffes, or sitting beside Michael in the cinema. Nurses and doctors who accompanied them said that Neverland had a strange power, it lifted spirits in ways medicine could not. For Michael, that was the greatest gift of all. "This is what I was meant to do," he would often say. To bring joy. Chapter 4. The Magic Inside. Beyond the rides and animals, Neverland held secrets only those close to Michael could see. At night, the kingdom came alive. The carousel glowed like a ring of stars. The Ferris wheel turned slowly under the moonlight. Music floated across the hills, soft, whimsical, timeless. Inside the mansion, Michael surrounded himself with art and toys. Statues of Peter Pan, collections of storybooks, arcade games, and dollhouses filled the rooms. To outsiders, it looked eccentric, but to Michael, it was life itself. Every corner of Neverland was a reminder of what he valued most: innocence, creativity, and childlike wonder. Chapter 5. The Shadows Fall. But as with every fairy tale, shadows crept into Neverland. The media, always eager for scandal, twisted the meaning of Michael's magical kingdom. They painted it not as a place of joy but as something strange, something suspicious. Allegations arose, storms gathered, and suddenly the gates of Neverland, once open to laughter, were closed tight. Michael, heartbroken, withdrew. The laughter faded, the rides slowed, and the magic dimmed. Neverland, once a sanctuary, became a symbol of controversy. Yet for those who had experienced it, the children who had smiled, the families who had found hope, it remained exactly what Michael intended, a land of healing. Chapter 6, A Kingdom Remembered. After Michael's passing in 2009, Neverland became quiet. The rides stopped turning. The zoo animals were moved. The once vibrant kingdom now stood like a sleeping castle. But memories cannot be erased. Fans from around the world continued to visit the gates, leaving flowers, letters, and drawings. For them, Neverland was not a place of scandal, it was a place of love. They remembered the boy who never wanted to grow up, the man who built a kingdom for children, and the dreamer who taught the world that magic is real if you believe in it. Chapter 7, The Legacy of Neverland. Today, Neverland exists partly in reality, partly in memory, and partly in legend. To some, it is simply land, a ranch in California. To others, it is a symbol of Michael's eccentricities. But to millions of fans, Neverland is eternal, a magical kingdom not bound by fences or gates, but living in the imagination. Because Michael's message was never about property or possessions. It was about holding on to the child within us, about protecting innocence, about creating joy even in a world filled with pain. Neverland is everywhere, he once hinted. It's in the hearts of those who believe. Conclusion. And so the story of Neverland continues. Whenever a child laughs freely, whenever someone dares to dream despite the world's doubts, whenever we remember that wonder and kindness are more important than wealth or power, in that moment, we are stepping into Michael Jackson's Neverland. It is not just a ranch. It is not just history. It is a reminder, gentle, powerful, everlasting, that the greatest kingdom we can ever build is the one filled with love, imagination, and the spirit of a child. Sparkles the end, but the dream lives on. Stopwatch. This narration is paced to last over when read slowly, with pauses, descriptive voice, and background music, sound effects like laughter, birds, and soft magical tones.